This week in oncology, advances in prostate cancer, melanoma, breast cancer, and radiotherapy are shaping practice. Hi, I'm Stephanie Haddad, Hematology and Oncology Fellow and Academic Chief Fellow at UT San Antonio Mays Cancer Center. Welcome back to Oncology Updates from ONCOassist. First, the FDA approved Pluvicto in combination with an androgen receptor pathway inhibitor for PSMA-positive metastatic hormone-sensitive prostate cancer, moving this radioligand therapy earlier in the disease and nearly doubling the eligible population. In the Phase 3 PISMA Addition trial, adding Pluvicto to standard of care reduced the risk of progression or death by 33%, with a hazard ratio of 0.67, with an overall survival trend hazard ratio of 0.80 as data matured. Next, the FDA granted accelerated approval to visolimogene odipirivec, an intratumoral genetically modified oncolytic viral therapy, in combination with nivolumab for adults with unresectable advanced cutaneous melanoma that progressed on a prior PD-1 blocking regimen. The approval was based on overall response rate and duration of response from the single-arm IGNITE trial. Confirmatory studies are still required to verify clinical benefit. Turning to Europe, the European Commission approved Datroway for first-line metastatic triple-negative breast cancer in patients who aren't candidates for immunotherapy, which is roughly 70% of this population. In the Phase 3 TROPION-Breast02 trial, median overall survival was 23.7 versus 18.7 months with chemotherapy. Hazard ratio of 0.79 with a 43% reduction in risk of progression or death, with a hazard ratio of 0.57 and a response rate of 62.5% versus 29.3%. It's the only TROP2-directed medicine approved in the EU with an overall survival benefit in this setting. Finally, the Phase 3 Aristotle trial in the Lancet Oncology evaluated whether adding irinotecan to standard capecitabine-based chemotherapy regimen improved outcomes in the MRI-defined, high-risk, locally advanced rectal cancer. Among 564 patients in the modified intention to treat analysis, 3-year disease-free survival was 68% with irinotecan versus 67% with standard therapy. Hazard ratio of 0.91. Irinotecan also increased grade 3 or worse toxicity with 78% versus 52%, including diarrhea and hematological toxicities. The authors concluded that irinotecan should not be added to radiotherapy plus capecitabine in this setting. That's it for this week in oncology. Thanks for tuning in, share this with a colleague, and download the ONCOassist app. I'll see y'all next time.